Unconditional love, conditional relationship. As you are waking up to who you are, especially if you're waking up around an experience of love, right, that is catalyzing you, you are going to encounter this idea of unconditional love. But first, my name is Anya Lincoln. I'm a spiritual author and teacher, and this is my second account where I just talk about whatever comes on my heart and in my mind. And if this is the format you enjoy, follow me for more. So first of all, one major misunderstanding about unconditional love is that it tolerates bad things in the world, bad behavior, unconditionally. Meaning I'm not going to set any conditions on a relationship with you because I have access to this infinite well of love, infinite well of patience. I am supposed to put up with all kinds of bad things. That is not unconditional love. In fact, it's our ego, that separate sense of self, that hijacks the idea of unconditional love and is using it, right, to either not confront its own fear, and at the same time, by not confronting its own fear, manipulate the world it lives in, so eventually it experiences, the real love, the real connection, real oneness at once. Meaning, I am going to unconditionally tolerate your addiction. I am going to unconditionally tolerate your unconsciousness. So eventually, you'll come on board. You'll join me where I think I am. And, we'll sail into the sunset together. But life being a mirror and a reflection, anything that we will have a significant connection to will be tied to us and remain in sort of linked to us on the level of that separate sense of self. It may manifest as an idea of unconditional love in you, but it might manifest as, addiction or some other unproductive behavior in them. So what is unconditional love when it comes to another human being? First of all, what is unconditional love? Unconditional love is being connected to love inside of you unconditionally. Love also being equivalent to oneness, meaning, connection of everything. So I am able to be connected to myself, to be connected to love, to be connected to the universe, independently of your behavior. Doesn't mean I approve of your behavior, doesn't mean I have to agree to it. I am the one that can remain in love, in presence, no matter what's going on. That is unconditional love. And when it comes to another human being, like your child or your soulmate or that person you really love, unconditional love is becoming aware in that pure state of connection of some truth about this relationship and not losing sight of it, right? Because of the turmoil that's going on. Now notice what happens. If I'm connected to love inside of me unconditionally, if I am aware of who I am and who you are, and I see you doing an unproductive thing, and I don't believe that I have to betray this love in order for me to negotiate a relationship with you, because why do we negotiate, right? Why do we negotiate with our sense of integrity? Why do we agree to things we don't want to agree to, or say that things we don't really think are okay, is because that's a ticket for us to get back to love. Maybe we believe that we have to get back to love together, like once you do it, I will do it, because it feels lonely for me to be connected to this place while you are suffering or while you are caught up in some dysfunction. But if we truly connect to oneness, that's not a lonely place. It's a place of bliss and awareness. And the contrast between your behavior, fearful behavior, my fearful behavior, right? Because I'm a human being and I'm still obviously working out these relationships, is going to be that much more obvious, that much bigger. I am going to do two things. First of all, I'm not going to push you away because you're a threat to my connection to love. I am going to be that soft, beautiful, but firm presence somewhere in your reality. And I will find the fastest path to rejecting the behavior. Maybe it's a boundary, maybe it's a no, without rejecting myself, and thus rejecting you and rejecting the truth of what I know about who you are. And this is why I talk about two people loving each other, like soulmates or just a strong connection, and children in the same vein. Because when you have a strong love connection, or you have a child, you get granted, almost as a gift, this glimpse or even a very strong stretch of a time when you see the truth of the connection, when you see the existence of that unconditional place inside of you, until the fear kicks in and you yourself lapse into trying to manage and manipulate the world to return back to that place, instead of, as in the transformative unconditional love, connect to that place independently of the state of affairs, and then continue setting boundaries, not to force the separate elements together, but to continue projecting that signal of oneness of love, and trusting that when you continue being in alignment with that place in you, all of the relationships are going to settle in their true nature and true form. Relationship needs to be conditional. Love has to be unconditional in order to set up the conditions in the relationships correctly. Meaning, in order for me to know that it's a balanced give and take with my world, I have to be connected to this awareness and coming from it, instead of, like I said, trying to continue managing the world as a condition of me returning to it.